Hello and welcome back to the Top 100. Great news, we've had a huge problem. We recorded this video a while ago and then we discovered when going to edit it that we didn't actually film the discussion of the game.
Yeah.
Quinns is going to be here to tell you about the game, and then he's going to be there in footage of us playing the game, but actually in terms of us talking about this game, in between, it's going to be just me and Tom. Sadly, of course, the footage was lost because of the curse of El Dorado, which is why we are now trapped
in El Dorado itself.
The dimension of gold itself.
Isn't it beautiful? The city of gold?
Everything is made of gold, but unfortunately, we can never take any of it home or sell any of it for money.
I'm going to take some of it home because I am made of gold. Because of my yellow coat. You know,
it's like warm. You should take that off.
It's really, really warm. I'm gonna take it off.
Straight into business. It's another game from the big Niz.
Dr. R Kitzia.
Dr. R Kitzia himself, man of many bow ties, man of many talents. He's designed thousands of games.
Billions of games.
Billions of games, literally probably tens to hundreds of which are good.
Yeah, there's one for every star in the galaxy, and we're touching one of those stars right now. Careful, it's hot. But to give you a little quick summary, it's a deck building game where you play cards from your hand to traverse the jungle.
This is the quest for El Dorado. Actually, technically, this is the quest for El Dorado with the Heroes and Hexes expansion bolted in. It's a game where you're going to start with a deck that looks like this. Some explorers, some people who have one coin, and a man who has one ore. And in this game, you're going to try to get to the golden city of El Dorado, because in addition to being a deck building game, you're doing all of this to race across a board that is all segmented. You and the other players trying to get their expedition to the golden city first, and the person who does that wins the game. So it's a combination of a deck building game, everybody loves them, and a race game, which for my money is often some of the best and most durable and dependable and exciting board games out there. So we're not going to get into all of the rules, but I am going to teach you the basics, and frankly, by teaching you the basics, I will have taught you almost all of the rules, because this game is very simple. On your turn, you're going to take your deck, you're going to draw 4 cards, and then first you're going to play those cards to move. So for example, if I play a machete, I can move my person into a space that has one machete icon. If I play a coin, I can move them into a space with a coin icon. But a lot of this game is looking at your hand and being like, well, I don't have the icons to move into the spaces I want to go. That's by design. The game is frustrating, it's gambly, it is frustrating, but kind of in a good way. Once you're done with your turn, however, you can take any cards you didn't play for movement and spend them on shopping. Those coin cards are also good at the end of your turn to buy cards from the shop. I've got this selection of cards, and I could buy any of these cards for the prices listed at the bottom, but there's only 3 of each. If it's my shopping phase and I want to buy something and there's an empty slot, then and only then can I actually buy anything in the game and be like, I actually want a plane. I'm going to buy a plane, and now the planes have entered the shop. It's a peculiar, sometimes you have a limited selection, sometimes you have a massive selection. I don't know, it works.
You know what? What if I just 1, 2 in front of Matt, because that's hilarious. And then I'll spend 2 money to buy a photography.
Cool, thanks. Gonna play Leroy, gonna play Resinda.
So technically you fully resolve a card before, unless you're using it for money.
Cave.
Oh, I got a cool thing.
It's public, so. Also, do you not want to know what it is?
Yeah, I was like, I know what that is, obviously. It's pink arrow hexagon.
Enter any hex, right?
Oh, any hex, you say.
Matthew, this game is very good.
It's fantastic.
It's really, really good.
I have played it 3 or 4 times over the past few months.
Oh, yeah?
Because I got given this copy
by Quinns.
After we played it. Quinns basically was like, do you want this?
And you said,
yes, I do.
Please.
And he's like, cool, I don't want to take it home. If I hadn't taken it, he would have just abandoned it in one of the many gutters of London.
He would have given it to an orphan, sewer orphan.
Yeah, one of the sewer orphans.
Of London town.
Who only have very crunchy euros to play most of the time. So please do donate your lighter family games to the sewer urchins.
And when we played this for the first time in the studio with Quinns, that was the first time you'd played it?
It was. And I was blown away and didn't play very well.
No, you spent most of that game going into caves.
I did. We were playing with an expansion.
We were.
Which added caves.
Yes.
I'm going to move away from the cave. Move towards the cave.
You can just sort of hang around them.
Yes.
And you get bonuses. And you would just go back and forth between...
I was the man hanging around in caves forever. Caves!
it was super interesting because me and Quinns were sort of competing sort of up towards the
You were
middle of the
having a
board.
race.
We were playing the race
trying
game.
to win a race.
And we were like, oh, it's fine, Matt's completely screwed himself, he's gone down a cave and we're never going to see him again. But then towards the end of the game, there was a genuine fear.
And then I'm going to spend my captain to go back to the cave. Back to the cave.
This is absurd. This is a ridiculous way of playing this game. You'd emerge from the cave fully formed, ready to kill us.
And I'm going to go
Into hell.
which is great, right? Because you know what this means? It means I'm going back in, throwing away a guy I don't want, and there's a cave.
Yeah, it required a lot of work. What I liked about this as a deck builder is the fact that you really can get stuck on some of the maps. Like on the easier ones, it's fine, it's breezy, you can muddle your way through and you'll move through the terrain much more quickly. When we were playing the longer ones, where you had some of the thicker forests, or for me, I think it was some of the deeper rivers, I just couldn't break that threshold I needed to move through spaces.
Yes.
So am I just like stuck?
You are fully ass stuck, or you go backwards, or you burn.
Yeah.
So I was faced with the decision of either milling through my deck, hoping that the captain with the big paddle would finally come up and let me leave this flipping river, or to cut my losses and just go back and round the long way.
Okay, that's fine. I guess I'm okay.
You could go back. One good captain would like get you all the way here. Then entering this place is real, and then you can't enter that. So.
Okay, well, I'm going to spend the rest of my cards to buy another captain.
You know you still need a way to get from
Yes,
here to...
I'm very aware of that.
That's where the game is strongest, I think, is this lovely consideration with what you have in your hand versus what you have physically on the board in front of you. It sounds like a really obvious thing to say, but it's like the way that you have to build your deck around what you can see coming, as well as having to deal with what you're currently dealing with at the time right now, is such an interesting sort of push and pull. This is so much quicker than going around the long way. But maybe you've built your deck to be really good at going the long way. It's so interesting because you can approach each tile of this board in different ways.
Yes.
Like each tile is asking you a question, being like, how are you gonna deal with this, buddy?
And usually the quickest route will mean you don't get many good things. But if you take the slow route and go around the edges, then you're thinning your deck down, you're getting to add some juicier stuff, and it means you're probably gonna like lag behind for the race. But again, as with all good race games, Mario Kart included, you wanna wait for the right moment to just suddenly push forward to the front of the pack.
And be like,
It's time for me also to kill my cow as they rampage through the woods.
How did this happen?
The end of it is always exciting.
it is.
Because it's never anybody's.
No, until the very end when someone, because you could look at someone's hand and be like, well, are they holding in there two little tiny machetes that's going to just nudge them forward? Or are they holding the worst hand I've ever seen in my life? By worst, I mean best.
Here? I'm going to discard my last card to open this up.
That's yours. That's a tiebreaker.
I know.
Tiebreaker.
And it belongs.
Right up there.
It's actually quite hard to do that.
Yeah, it looks pretty.
How does Waluigi manage it?
I also really like that sort of dual consideration of holding cards or spending them for money. So some of the spaces on the board require you to go through them by spending money, by using cards from your deck that, get you through money spaces. But also, that money is what gets you new cards into your deck.
Yeah.
So if you're building a deck that's like heavy on the cash, are you using that cash for movement, or are you going to be using it to buy like a big plane that's going to fly you over the rest of the
And
board?
also, all deck builders, in a way, are a race to points. And there's always that element of trying to build the perfect deck.
Yeah.
And then knowing when to stop and being like, well, actually, no, you've got a really good deck now. Use it to win the game.
I think what happened is...
I'm doing all cave strats.
As I was doing the teach, I explained the rules for caves, and then he just had white noise for the rest of the...
Caves, you say? I'm going to spend my 2 paddle token.
That Always Sunny episode where they're like, the money moves around in the
I'm going to move
circle.
back into there. Now I'm going to move and discard this other fortune and get another cave token.
I tend to fall into the habit with deck builders. This is why I love them, of just trying to make an ideal deck.
An engine. Yeah.
And I don't really care about what it does.
Yeah.
I just want it to be a fun engine, and that's fine.
Yeah.
But with this, it's having that tangible view of going, oh, gulp.
Yes.
I've got to catch up with people now.
There are other caves. There are. Yeah, it's not even.
Each subsequent cave, he's more interested in. If he ever gets here.
I maybe like triple dipped on this cave, but I think on this cave, I'm now like, I don't know how many times I've been in this cave. I mean, also, I love the simple choice to have the kind of like barriers.
These things, they're so good.
They're gates,
such a good
basically.
decision.
If you're in the lead, then it means that you spend a certain resource or do a thing to get through those gates to continue. It just counts, really, all it counts as one extra space.
Yes.
But that one extra space could slow you down a lot. And then as a lovely kicker, it means at the end of the game, in the event of a tie, whoever has more of those things wins. So it means that you're being penalised if you are the player who's constantly out front. But when it comes to it might be what wins you the game.
Yeah, they're like a resource as well as like a barrier, which is it's clever.
It's a resource you might never need. And I mean, that's the thing, is like, I think it's a really good bit of game design because it makes you feel like something has real value. It's not just like, oh, this is annoying. It's like, oh, this is annoying, but I got this. I think like 30% of the words you're saying are swear words, which means it is a good game.
Enough that you can spend some of your like hard-earned hand to break a barrier that might be useful if you are in the contention to win the game.
Yes.
So when you're breaking those, you're thinking like, well, I'm going to break them because I'm gonna win. And it's a good way of checking that confidence, being like, well, if you think that you're going to win that much, well, we're going to have to pull you down a little bit.
And I mean, I feel like that energy as well of people kind of clumping around and being lazy, and everyone standing and being like, hey, maybe I'll let you go through this first.
Oh, pick up. Okay. I hate you.
Well, at one point, I think I was just blocking you all by standing in a position that was really annoying for everyone else.
Yeah.
The fact that the expansion added the ability to occasionally move other people's pieces backwards.
Yes.
The player to your left moves you 2 spaces. Voodoo! Where are we gonna go, baby?
Completely ruined me at one point where I'd taken a whole bunch of horrible curse stuff in order to go through this amazing shortcut. And then the last curse I took allowed you to just move yourself. It moved me back, and then you moved yourself in.
Oh, I see.
And you stole my shortcut that I'd cursed myself for. Okay, well, first of all, I'm going to move into the darkness. Because I take a bad turn.
I need the heroes and hexes.
We'll sell that.
I think
I'm now phasing through time and 3 men at once.
I think that's every other player moves you 1 hex. Let me. Wait.
About this expansion.
In turn order, each other player may immediately move all their pieces onto an adjacent unoccupied space. Ignore space requirements. Let's go, baby.
Incredible. Amazing.
That is so annoying.
I did the base game is this, but without the purple shit.
No, I know, and the purple things are great. Don't get me wrong. Even though I said that's so annoying, it's still great. I mean, that was very Indiana Jones. That was very like, damn you, Dr. Jones.
It's extra good because you stepped in the way of.
It's literally so good. It's literally so good.
It's unbelievably frustrating. I was taking that hit for that reason.
I think that blocking aspect is just like so strong though. Like the fact that it isn't just like we said with other deck builders kind of being a race game. Like they are, Dominion is a race to points, but having this physical, actual like track that you are racing down gives it so much like visible sort of immediacy and presence for like families who want to get into this game. Like, rolling a dice and moving a thing is like the most common type of game that families are used to.
Yes.
And you just change the dice to some cards and you've got something that is approachable, but also it has all the meanness of that like physical track.
Person to my left moves me 2 spaces. Tom, please.
Oh, it's Tom. I was going to move you forward. To get you out of the Just free him from this. Also, he'll be stuck there, which is almost funny. Oh, there's another cave.
No, he's got loads of money, that's the thing. No, moving him backwards is just the right thing to do, surely.
Yeah, okay.
It's the fact that it's not just a score tracker. It's the fact that you see someone move to an area and then go, and you're like, yeah, how are you going to get through that, huh? And watching, sometimes people just get stuck in an area for a couple of turns because they just can't do it yet.
There's some really cool stuff you can do. Like imagine, you're playing with someone and they're going towards, they've built their deck to be really good at getting across the ocean and they get right up to this lovely 3 ore space and then you just sit right in front of them. And one of my favorite things you can do is you can be sat right in front of them and you can be like, you know what, this isn't an ideal hand. I'll just bin this hand and draw a new one and just completely waste their time. And there's so much spite in there that I think is delightful. And very easy to access as well. Like this is a super approachable game.
Yeah, I mean, I taught this to my family over Christmas, and we played with this copy of it, and it's German. Like, there's a lot. Like, obviously, there's not a lot of language in this game anyway, but the little helpful things in front of you aren't that helpful if they're in German and you're not a German speaker.
The Spielzug.
And obviously, some of the text on the cards is also in German, which doesn't help. But still, it's simple enough that it didn't matter.
The iconography is very clean, and like there is like literally like the amount of text in this game is about this much on a card, and you can look at that and be like, I know what that does already.
The final thing I think about this, which is really clever, is the fact that you have all of these different cards that can potentially be in the shop, but the way that the game sets you up with a shop of these things, and then when something runs out in the shop and there's a space, a player then going to the shop gets to add something in and buy one of those if they want to. So I love the fact that you've got this incredible, as a base game, a pretty incredible scope of things going on, and then obviously with expansions, more things, without it getting into that overwhelm zone of being like, well, what do you want to buy from these million things? The fact that actually it's like, yeah, there's all this, but really, you just need to know what these things do.
This is what you need to care about right now, and maybe you'll need to care about exactly one of these cards they enter the shop.
Yeah.
And then you do get that lovely moment of like when there is a space empty and you buy something,
You get to pick.
Ooh.
Yeah.
And it's exciting rather than daunting, right?
Exactly. It means you can have a look at things, pick something that you specifically want now, but it means also it allows the game to be taught as you play. You don't have to do that thing of going, well, and this does this, and this does this, and this does this. You can just introduce things one at a time and go, now we've got this person, which does this. What does this one do again? Just move
Into any space.
Except a mountain.
I'm going to Capitan.
there.
Cave.
Cave.
Cave. Ooh.
2 little paddles for your little boat.
2 little paddles for my boaty boy.
This boy loves caves.
This boy freaking loves caves.
What are you talking about? I've never seen a cave in my life.
It's neat. It's a Reiner classic.
It is a Reiner classic. I think it's a fantastic game. It's so snappy and immediate and so grabby and also just so approachable, so simple to get to the table, but it has so much juice to it.
Yes.
Like if you want to play this with your family, you can play it in a very like sort of straightforward and simple way where things are just like immediate and you just play the cards and move. But you're playing it with people who've played a lot of deck builders, it becomes something else entirely. We didn't play this game at 2 players.
No.
And you may have noticed, as I've set this up, the 2-player has you having 2 pieces that you can exclusively use to block and irritate people. Beautiful. So this at 2 is a whole different box of frogs because it really leans into that cruelty.
It's a box of horrible frogs.
It is a box
but that's it, you know, obviously the first player token is a fedora. And I mean, really, if you think about it, like, it is very clearly modeled on that kind of Indiana Jones style adventure.
I was wondering where you were going with that.
No. But it is that, like, if you think about it, Indiana Jones films, a lot of it is him irritating other people and him being irritated by other people.
Yeah, for sure.
A lot of it is like frustration of being like, aha, we've broken this bridge. And being like, why have you done that? And that, I think, that's captured in this game.
You know you still need a way to get from here to...
I'm very aware of that.
Okay.
I'll cross that bridge and die on it when it comes.
I really adore how the cards that you put into your deck feel like they're not necessarily characters. They haven't got that much characterization put into them, but you really start looking for the person who you need at the right time. And when they arrive, you want to give them a little smooch. Like if you're stuck in a river and you're waiting for ages for your one captain that you put into your deck, like who knows when, and then when it finally arrives, it just feels incredible.
Oh, my captain, my sweet captain. Although obviously sometimes the captain turns up later.
Yes.
And you're like, oh.
We're in a village now.
Somebody turned up to work. Thanks for the boat, you Burke.
Should we rank this thing?
Let's put this somewhere in the shut up and sit down top 100. All right, this is a pretty quick and simple addition to the Shut Up and Sit Down copyrighted board.
It's going above Agricola.
It's going above Agricola.
That's what we decided in our discussion last time. Oh, blimey. Jeez, it's what we're going to decide this time.
It's fine.
Why are we putting it above Agricola, Matt?
Because it's better.
This is the nuanced content that people subscribe to us for.
We had a big discussion about this last time, and Quinn's got very angry, but I can't remember in favour or against what.
I just think he was conflicted. He was there to argue, but I don't think he knew why.
I think he was arguing for El Dorado being better, as in it's more... No, we were saying it's better because it's more fun. We realised that Agricola is important. It's a game that's like, it's got a history, it's relevant, it's impressive how much it holds up.
Yeah.
And that's cool.
And so much of its design has trickled down into all kinds of games since then. It is an important game.
It's a good game.
But this game
is just really fun.
It's just really fun.
And that means El Dorado, using our not exactly clear system for rankings that we're going to work on as we do this series, goes above Agricola.
This time.
What numbers are they? We don't know.
We still don't.
Nothing has a number until we've done 100 episodes.
Yeah.
So we have to wait a little while.
Wait till episode 100 and we'll probably have worked it out by then.
That's it now. Put it away.
Yeah. This was a weird one because we're in the curse zone.
Thank you so much for watching the Shut and Sit Down Top 100. We'll be back next time. If you've enjoyed this show, then you can watch it whenever you want.
Eisen. Bonus bits, we do extra stuff.
Also there's loads of bonus stuff. If you want to support Shut and Sit Down, you can get loads of bonus bits, behind the scenes nonsense, and lots of other fun things.
Yeah.
So do check that out if you'd like more things. We'll see you next time, everybody. Goodbye.
Great. Completely unhinged.
Yeah.